Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. It's time for our super special edition that focuses on The Mandalorian Season 2. We're starting off with Episode 1. Beware, there's going to be spoilers. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey, guys, it's Prague.
On a speeder bike, this is DeLorean Wolfgang.
So, again, Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 1, spoilers. If you haven't watched it yet, or if you care about spoilers, proceed accordingly.
Yeah, or pause this and come back after you've watched the episode.
We'll wait.
We'll wait.
And welcome back. All right. What'd you think?
Hi. Yeah.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
You want to do like a little spoiler, like not spoiler-free review of the episode first? Just kind of your overall thought.
I like that.
Okay.
Spoiler-free review,
right.
And then we'll dive in by frame and go into painstaking analysis of the shine off of Mandalorian's helmet.
Ooh, I like it. Wipe that Beskar off his smile.
Oh,
let's do it.
Proceed, fellas.
So who wants to start with their overall take?
Overall take, I think, is kind of what we were expecting, which isn't necessarily a good thing. I had fun with the episode overall. It just wasn't anything exciting and new for me.
I had a lot of fun. I don't think that it was the greatest episode ever. I listened to a bunch of podcasts of other people kind of reviewing it, and everybody pretty much said that this was the greatest episode they've ever seen of a Star Wars anything. And I would not. I don't know if I would agree with that. I think it was very fun. I think it was very cool. Some of the introductions. I also liked some of the newer characters that we get to meet. But I'm not going nuts over this one. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for the season, but I think there's definitely a lot more to come.
For me, if you take this episode by itself, it's grand spectacle. Like, oh my God, there's a great scale to everything. It's a ton of fun. It's entertaining for the whole thing. But it's not really, there wasn't really any plot or storyline. It fits into the Monster of the Week idea where Mandalorian's going to go to a new planet. He's going to have to do something, and he's going to complete it in an hour.
Which I thought was weird for a opening episode to a season.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, this feels like episode 4.
Right.
As I was watching it, I immediately, right once the monster in the show shows up, I immediately said, well, this is now just a Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
Like
there was exactly what I said too. I was like,
wait a second, hold on.
I mean, it's not like I didn't like the concept of it. It was like the concept was fun. You get to meet this new sheriff. He happens to be wearing, the Boba Fett's outfit, and it's like that whole aspect of the show.
Spoilers? Are we good?
A little bit. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. Spoilers. If you're listening, you probably know that there's spoilers. But yeah, the aspect of the show itself, is fun. But it's just weird for an opening. I would have expected some kind of exposition on, hey, we're trying to find, Baby Yoda or the child's, home planet. None of that. It's just like, I'm on this planet now.
Well, no, that's what they were doing at the beginning. He had to find...
That's the excuse they get to use each week of going to a planet. He's going to go and get this information. Right. Okay. Oh, now I need to go get this information. It's a whole, scavenger hunt, and he has to have a task each scavenger hunt place.
That makes sense. I must have not paid attention during that part.
But do you not feel like they're going to probably spend a few episodes on Tatooine, though?
Oh, yeah.
It feels like they might.
Yeah. They're probably going to spend a lot more. I don't think that he's going to be bouncing
and it might not
planet
be,
to planet as
I
much
think,
as...
I think he will be. No, he'll be bouncing back and forth, but I don't know if necessarily the next episode will be on Tatooine.
Yeah.
But there'll be a few, I think, on the planet for sure.
Because we love Tatooine so much because they have 2 sons, and we have never seen this before.
It's Luke Skywalker's home.
I mean, there's how many planets in the Star Wars universe? Let's just focus on Tatooine over and over and over again.
Hey, Trevor, it's because they can film it in California.
Oh, a lot of it is convenience.
Yeah.
Let's tell you, it's real easy.
Convenience. Yeah.
Gray out the sky and just put, a bunch of dirt on the floor. Perfect. Set's done. We're ready to go. Film. Turn on a fan. Okay, we're good.
But yeah,
a lot of it is
surprisingly in this episode, not a whole lot of Baby Yoda. For it being the Baby Yoda show, not a whole lot of Baby Yoda.
That's actually one of my critiques of this
That's
episode.
one of my points too. Oh, my critique's
Yoda.
on the opposite end.
Oh.
It feels like somebody came in, like some Disney executive came into Jon Favreau and he's like, we need more Baby Yoda. So every single sequence in the entire show, we need a flash to him. He almost was the kid watching a reaction video. Look, here's Baby Yoda's face. Oh, Mandalorian done something. Look, Baby Yoda. And he doesn't play a part in the entire show, but they showed him as one frame. I don't know how many times. It was countless number of times.
No, I agree with you there. No, I wanted more Baby Yoda, but maybe more Baby Yoda actually doing things. But I felt the same way. I felt like he was shoehorned into the episode every time you see him.
Yeah,
it's like, oh shoot, we forgot to show Baby Yoda. Hurry, pan to him, quick.
Because they could have just kept Baby Yoda on the ship the whole time, or kept him with Amy Sedaris.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to. I'm like, oh, okay, here's Amy Sedaris. We're just gonna leave the baby with her. The episode makes sense. Okay, I don't know why you wouldn't have him be part of the episode, but okay. Then the next shot, he's with them. Like, what? When did this happen?
All of a sudden, he's just standing here. He's standing there. Oh, take care of the child for no reason. Let me put the child in danger for no reason.
Yeah, why is the child going? Okay, hold on. Should we now just jump into the episode?
Oh yes, let's do it.
Yeah, we're in.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We get often where we distract ourselves if you want to go in order of the show or the bigger things and they kind of meld themselves. So it's up to you guys.
Well, it was just funny because we were like, hey, let's do spoiler free. Boba Fett did something.
Okay. I mean, it's kind of all over the internet by this point, but
for sure.
Yeah.
But and if you're listening to this, you most likely watched it.
Should we start?
Yeah, you're a Mandalorian fan.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Since that wasn't the happiest of ways of talking about the episode, do we want to talk about the stuff we liked first? What worked?
Or we can just go in order of the minutes and we'll find out what's good and bad as we're going.
I don't work that way, but if you want to work that way,
hey, sure, Frog.
Took notes, so let's go off the notes.
Good notes.
I took notes on the Babadook, and you guys just wanted to bounce around all over the
Babadook. I love bouncing around all over the place. But yeah, we can go ahead in order. Okay. So opening shot.
Yeah, opening shot. It starts almost. Yeah, it's just like episode 1 of season 1, where you have almost, it's like a bar scene, but now it's an arena scene. But it's the same kind of thing, and they emphasize practical effects of the Gamorrean guards who are fighting and the guy that he has to meet with for information. And then we get to see him do badass Mandalorian things where he gets to shoot the rockets and then he throws that awesome knife at the guy. And it's really cool. It's a whole thing. Baby Yoda closes himself in the little cocoon thing and flies off. And that's a whole fun little sequence.
I'm going to pause you there, though, because him walking to that little seedy, because he's walking through this seedy area to get into this underground everywhere. And there's graffiti everywhere. That took me out of the scene because now I'm sitting here thinking, well, there's now a planet that's got a Walmart where people can go buy spray paint and they're spray painting the walls.
I mean, it's essentially a shout out to Rebels because Sabine does all kinds of street art. That's what Sabine does, and she has all kinds of spray paint. And so it's a shout out to that because it's all anti-Empire graffiti. Like, you know, it's stormtroopers with X's on them and all kinds of various things anti-Empire.
Right. I guess for some reason, like I'm imagining a space battle galaxies away in a time long, long ago. And here, all I can see is spray paint on the walls. And it looks like if you go to a tunnel in New York.
I can see that. It didn't take me out of it, but I definitely paid attention to it. Like it was something different for me to see in live action Star Wars. I think it works better in animation for whatever reason. I think you're just kind of more like allowing it in that realm. Whereas,
it's a design aesthetic too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very big design aesthetic. So to see that in The Mandalorian, which doesn't really have that look, it was kind of jarring, I think. Right. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get to see like C-3PO in there and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's a C-3PO and the wall and. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So that was just my take on that. That's why that was just one of a few reasons why I didn't give this just an absolute glowing review, because there were certain little things like that would take me away from the story
Yeah, I feel you there though.
That's
I
an interesting
definitely feel
balance too, because that sequence they really heavy emphasize practical effects, and then later on some of the things that take you out go against that. Like we know what you guys are capable of. We've seen it. You've explained it in the documentary, and then you're like, hey, we still can do stupid CGI stuff. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know.
And it's weird. It's a weird juxtaposition.
Yeah.
Well, and then let's go into the actual like fight that's in the ring. That also took me away because it felt very clunky and very slow and not. I don't. It could have been more exciting. It didn't seem very exciting at all. It was like two guys in giant suits trying to fight each other with their swords.
To me, it felt more like it didn't feel like Star Wars. It felt like people were dressed up in Star Wars outfits at like
LARPing.
a local, yeah, LARPing. Really, that's what it felt like. It felt like you walked in on some abandoned warehouse and people were dressed up in costumes, but didn't have that look and feel of Star Wars. It was just kind of weird. I mean, I enjoyed the scene actually. I thought it was a great action scene. The whole way it went down, but yeah, it just didn't feel like Star Wars. I was like, all right.
And then
to me, it did feel like Star Wars, but it felt like the prequels. It almost looked like I could have seen it taken straight out of episode 1 or 2 in the way that there was a lot of white and a lot of unnecessary empty space. And that's why those clunky things really are jarring in that sequence.
And I have a feeling we're going to reference the prequels a lot in this episode.
I'll just say it right now. Dave Filoni has a hard-on for George Lucas, and in the making of documentary, he said, I'm going to be on the George Lucas cross, and he said why George Lucas is an absolute brilliant mastermind and creating the prequels, and everyone who doesn't like him is stupid and wrong. That's essentially what he said in the making of. And this episode was him saying, hey, look, if you didn't watch that documentary, here's me showing it in the actual sequence of the show we're creating.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, they did it so much better in this show. But anyways...
But better director.
So Mandalorian goes to talk to this Cyclops creature who I didn't know this, but he was played by John Leguizamo.
And so I wanted to bring this up when we got to the Amy Sedaris part, but you talked about it in our preview that you don't like seeing them, but I was like, well, what if they did it where they just lend their voice? And this is what works, where you bring in people and you don't know them, and that's how you bring people in.
I had no idea that was John Leguizamo until I learned until after. Yeah, it's totally bonkers to me. Then he did a great job. He was. I mean, you could tell that he was a bad guy. I mean, that whole thing was. Yeah, dude's a bad guy, the whole time. So, anyways, yeah.
I like that inclusion a lot.
Yeah, and then you get the great scene of Baby Yoda pressing the button and hiding himself in his egg pod. So, yeah.
And he's like, here, I showed up. Now I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yep. Beep.
I was cute.
That was cute. Bye.
Well, because he's floating around this seedy area looking at the big pig monster fight. And there's no reason that he should have had the egg open to where Baby Yoda sees this pig monster fight.
I don't think he cares what Baby Yoda sees, it seems like.
Well, on the flip side, though, this guy is looking for Baby Yoda who he's going to talk to, right? Or no, I guess he's looking for his armor, but Baby Yoda's part of that. He leaves him open to be kidnapped so many times.
So much. Oh my God, so much.
The dude's worth so much. Stop putting him in harm's way.
And stop flaunting him.
Yeah.
He's going to these seedy areas with... Hey, check it out.
Hey, look at this bounty that I got that I just stole that everyone wants.
This thing following me, check it out. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, it is strange that he puts him out in so much danger. Unless Mando thinks that he's such a badass that he can just allow him to be out in the open. He's like, oh no, if anyone tries to touch
definitely
him,
thinks that. And he keeps getting away with it because he's the protagonist of the show.
Right. I know.
So that was cool, and we got to see some new Star Wars creatures like the red eye things in the dark. I mean, I don't think we ever really get to see those, but red eye things in the dark, always creepy. Sorry.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, I enjoy seeing stuff like that used. So that was a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
And so that's our opening sequence, and then we have this weird flying sequence, and they play this heroic music overture which doesn't fit in with the soundtrack at all of season 1 or this episode. I wrote it down. I was like, why is there this heroic music overture that is completely different tonality than the entire music of the show?
I thought I was the only one who thought that. I was like, that was almost jarring.
It is jarring.
It's like, okay, wait, all right.
I thought it was like a new intro to the show, but it was just a transition scene.
I need to go back and rewatch that because I didn't even catch that.
It wasn't awful. It was just different. It was jarring.
Yeah.
It took me out of it a little bit.
Interesting.
And then we get to land back with Amy Sedaris, and she has those annoying CGI droids, and they have slapstick droid humor, which wasn't funny in the prequels. Sorry, Dave Filoni, you don't need to bring it back. We don't need CGI droids who are goofy. No, it's never worked. Just stop.
But I will say... Oh, go ahead, Prague.
The problem is people love that. People love those droids and that kind of humor. Like, obsessive.
Really?
Like most fans do. It's
it takes
I
me
was
out
surprised
of
how many
Star Wars.
people... I'm surprised how many times I've heard people talk about how they like that stuff. And I'm like, I guess I'm one of the few that does not like that style of humor.
Well, it's funny. Like, for someone like me, I actually ignore that type of stuff. I
usually try to, yeah. But I'm saying it doesn't really do it for me.
It's just yeah, because it's a slapstick. It's almost like they put it in there for children, and my eyes aren't focused on that. I'm focused on what else is happening in the scene, because that's usually in the background where they're clunking type of stuff. So,
and I will say this, CD, you bring a good point about like how you tune it out because you think it's for the kids kind of thing. And the whole episode, I'm thinking if I were like 8 or 9 years old and I saw this episode, it would have been the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life, period. Like, I would have eaten this episode up, watching it a million times. But I think as an adult, I'm seeing it for its flaws, or I want it to be something else or different or new or whatever, right? So there's two different mindsets. You know, I'm sure if I were a kid watching this, I would have absolutely loved this episode. So I'll give it that credit.
And I might be feeling a little overcritical because I talk to you guys every week, so you guys are starting making me see more of the flaws in these things.
But just because flaws exist doesn't mean it's bad. It's the flaws that are annoying. No.
Right. Of course.
And so what we do...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I know in our episode where we talked about doing this whole thing with Mandalorian, and I mentioned the comedians.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think Amy Sedaris' character works. It's funny when I watched her this time around. Yeah, she had her few jokes, but you could tell that there was more of a rapport between her and Mando. Mando handed over Baby Yoda like, yeah, dude, get acquainted with the baby again, man. Hey, who cares about the droids? Let them do their thing. It's almost like they now have a rapport, and like that. I don't know. It was something kind of cool about it that I didn't feel like it was annoying that she was that comedian in a way. I don't know. Like the first time I saw her, I felt annoyed. Then I saw her this time, and I'm like, something feels right here.
I think it's the familiarity now in the role, rather than the familiarity of Amy Sedaris. Like, now you get her relation to Baby Yoda, and she knows instinctively that he doesn't like droids. And she was also more exposition heavy in kind of describing this episode. And she was essentially full on Princess Carolyn from BoJack. Like, she was more rapid fire with giving information rather than these one-liners to get laughs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's development there too, which helped.
Right, for sure. And I think that's what worked for me totally.
But it was funny because, like, as soon as she came on, I'm like, we were just talking about this. It was pretty funny.
Well, and
there she is.
I texted you guys, oh, great, 10 minutes into this show, and there's already Amy Sedaris back.
Yep. There it is.
And in that same sequence, though, we do get a fun little shout-out. And so CGI shout-outs to the prequels will never be fun to me, but having R5 actually show up from A New Hope, because they had to zoom in on the oil stain on the back where he actually fries so Luke gets R2. Just so you knew, in case you had no idea, you've never seen A New Hope. But I like fun little shout-outs like that always.
I love R5. So yeah, I was happy to see R5.
So in listening to some of the other podcasts talking about this episode, I thought it was kind of funny that they brought up kind of a little Gremlins reference about Baby Yoda, where Amy Sedaris says if this thing is to ever, not if it ever mates and has babies, if this thing ever sprouts other spawns of this type of thing. almost like a little, hey, don't feed this thing after midnight, or don't get water on it, or it'll sprout
Right.
other little gremlins type of thing. I don't know. I thought that was kind of a funny little clever thing. So
Nice. Yeah, I missed that line, but very nice. Probably because I was distracted by Amy, but yes. I'll have to go back and rewatch that line.
We also get to have the CGI rat creatures from the prequels because here's more CGI prequel things. I wrote down each of them. There's 3 instances that just are so annoyingly stupid. Actually, there's 4 instances. Damn it, dude.
Yeah,
Anyway.
those stuck out to me as well. I was like, there they are.
It's just because there's so much practical effects on this show. If everything was CGI, like the Tusken Raiders and the Banthas and Baby Yoda, they're all CGI. It works.
Perfect.
But when you have this one CGI thing of all this practical effects, it stands out.
It does.
Yeah.
I agree. Unfortunately,
it's true.
The Banthas look so good. I loved the design of the Banthas.
Fantastic. Oh my god, they look so good. Yeah. Anyway, so he actually talks to Amy Sedaris, and then she gives him coordinates to different places on Tatooine that he now needs to go check. And yeah. So what does he do then?
Then we get to go to finally meet Timothy Oliphant wearing Boba Fett armor because we knew that was going to happen for
he's gotta get on the speeder bike, man. He gets on the speeder bike and he travels, and then that's where you get your next Baby Yoda scene where ears are flapping and it's happy like a dog.
Yeah, all I wrote down was a lot more Baby Yoda unnecessary sequences.
Yeah.
It was another, but that's the thing is like, it's what the people want. We need Baby Yoda smiling on a speeder bike.
I guess there's already GIF exists of that.
Exactly.
I thought that too. As soon as I saw that scene, I was like, "Oh, that's the same scene we've already seen."
Yep,
that's weird.
We've already seen it before.
There it is. I mean, I love myself some speeder bikes, but there's just something about the way that they were done in the original that just you can't do it the same. It's not as cool.
Yeah,
I love them. It's not the same.
Yeah. And so I find it funny though that Timothy Oliphant, his probably best known role is from Justified, where he plays a marshal. He's literally a marshal, and his character on The Mandalorian is a marshal.
Yeah. As soon as he took the armor off, I'm like, oh no, that's where they cast him as. Because I knew he was being cast in this show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
So
that's too on the nose. But okay, fine.
Love this actor. I love this actor, but I can never remember his name, and I always end up just calling him Handsome Man because
he's very handsome.
He is a handsome man, and everything that he does, it's always like he's such a cool character every time I ever see him, and he was a cool character in this. Like he actually cared about the town that he was marshaling over. Like he cared enough to where he was like, I don't need this armor. I will give you this armor if you protect this town. And I'll still hang out here for some reason when he could go anywhere. He still just hangs out there. But he was also in the show Deadwood. And I don't know if you guys caught this, but the bartender was the bartender in Deadwood. The bartender in Mandalorian was also the bartender in Deadwood.
He does, because they had a lot of makeup on, but you can tell.
Oh yeah, I mean he was a full-on monster. So
hilarious. Okay.
All these aliens are monsters to me. Sorry guys.
You're all monsters. You're a monster. I will say though that after that initial reveal of Timothy Oliphant, I quickly got over it because they did a good job with his character and he's a great actor, so it was fine. After
they actually do set up his character, the Cobb Vance, because they show the backstory of what he was doing during Return of the Jedi, and I like whenever the show ties into the overarching timeline.
Yes, that was a fun sequence. It was cool for me to see.
It's funny to think that there's a bunch of people who are sitting in a bar watching
the Death Star blow up on repeat. It's just like a loop, boom,
over and over, man. It's like winning the World Series or something. A big catch at the end. Oh!
Not knowing that there's like something totally traumatic happening with this boy and his dad, and seeing his dad for the first time as a human, and then let's just explode that thing. It's so good.
And then they're doing the prep for the gunfight, and it's interrupted by a perfectly timed rumble. And I see it, and I wrote down, because I said this out loud. I was like, oh, good, it's Tremors. And then it was Tremors. That was so good.
I think everyone thought that at the same time.
I would have loved. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say how sarcastic that it was Tremors. And then it actually was Tremors. Like when I first said it, I didn't hope that it was Tremors.
It would have been great if Marshall was actually played by Kevin Bacon.
That would be way too on the nose. But yes. Okay. Oh, too much. So, but then it becomes.
Come on, Timothy's played the Marshal how many times? Yeah. Anyways, boop, 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 boop. Anyways,
it was funny to see him with the armor on, though. I'll say that because you can tell as soon as he walks in with the armor on, you're like, that's definitely not Boba Fett. So what's the deal? What's going on here? It just hangs differently on him. So you knew that was like, cool.
Seeing the armor on these guys, but at the same time, the way that they shot it, it's super cool. It's like such a Western. Like this is obviously a full-on Western, this whole show. But it just gave you those Western-y feels, like from the old-timey Westerns, like where the Marshal does it.
Well, they made the doorways like when they're filming all those old time westerns in the 50s, they made the doorways particularly small because a lot of actors are like 5'4" and 5'5". Right. And so Timothy Olyphant's a relatively tall guy. That's why the Boba Fett stuff barely hangs on him. But he fills the whole door frame when he comes in, and that has that total. Like they could have saloon doors if they wanted to.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool seeing that whole thing, man. It was. I just really liked that whole scene. But I really liked that they ended up deciding to work together instead of destroying each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which tends to happen, right, on this show? They run into somebody who could be the adversary.
We're
friends now. It's like, okay.
So the Tremor monster come, and welcome to your monster of the week.
Yes. Crate Dragon.
Crate Dragon. Now we've seen the Crate Dragon skeleton before in one of the films. I don't remember what film it was, but there was a Crate Dragon skeleton. I believe Jawas.
A baby Crate Dragon.
Oh, it was a baby Crate Dragon.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool that they brought it out, and the Crate Dragon looks awesome.
Once he he doesn't look cool under the sand. It looks really bad, like the CGI of the sand moving and stuff. But once we get in and actually see him on the rocky parts later in the show, that is an amazing design.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Get close-up character work. It's great. Design work and everything, and actual practical effects looks fantastic. But yeah, that CGI part was.
We get to meet Jawas again, and their big sandcrawler, and we get to see the scale of the sandcrawler, which is always fun. Sandcrawler is one of the best things in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, I could just watch that all day. Like
the garbage car
all day. Yeah, I love that. Seeing all the different droids in the background and parts and stuff. Like, I love that. That's so much fun.
And then in the backstory of Cobb, we get to see his whole gunslinger thing, and we get to see him be more of a badass than Boba Fett in that 30-second backstory than the entire Boba Fett in 2 actual whole movies, which is amazing. He actually uses the rocket launcher just like Iron Man does in 2008.
Hold on. You guys know that whole thing, the rocket launcher, is from the toy, right? That's awesome.
We're nerds, we know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm excited about that too because
but he actually uses it. It doesn't just sit back there. He actually we get to see him use it, and it's that same exact Jon Favreau directed sequence of Iron Man.
It was like a wink and a nod to the camera.
Yes.
Is what it was.
I loved how the one I saw on Twitter, Eagle Eye fans see this shout out to Iron Man. I was like, you don't have to be Eagle Eye. It was the whole screen. It wasn't like some thing in the top right corner.
Right. Are you one of the hundreds of millions of people that saw Iron Man? Well, you may have.
That's clickbait of the week.
And then he also had the Wilro Hood ice cream machine, which was always a fun shout out.
Which part?
Yeah,
where in his backstory, he has all the crystals inside that little white thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's the Wilro Hood ice cream machine from Empire Strikes Back when he's leaving Bespin.
Very nice.
So that was one thing that I didn't understand. So he was pretty much dragging himself through the desert with this ice cream machine. I don't understand why he kept that. Why did
the crystals inside are super valuable.
Right. He just grabbed wherever he could, and that's what he grabbed.
He knew that there were crystals in there. I wasn't.
No.
Okay.
If I'm not carrying around something if I don't know if there's anything even in it. What was the point of him even carrying that thing around?
Well, he didn't have anything because he was escaping the mining company.
Right.
So he just grabbed whatever because he needed a bargaining chip. You're on a desert planet with 2 suns.
Yeah,
You're going
he
to die.
knew
Really
there's
quick.
going to be something in there. Something had to be in there.
Because it's from the mining company. It's some type of resources they had. He didn't know how valuable it was. He probably should have traded it for more than Boba Fett's armor, but regardless.
Yeah.
But yes, he did. Either way.
So, and his character was actually, there was a whole book on his character from what I learned that has a whole backstory on him and all of his stuff. So if anybody's interested, look up that book and give it a read. I hear it's good.
Nice. I don't read, so I won't be doing that.
Nor do I.
I'm just kidding, I do. No, I didn't realize he had a backstory. I thought this was a new character on the show, so noted.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah, I guess they're Dave Filoni's trying to bring in characters from the novels and
the expanded universe stuff, yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, trying to make it all.
And speaking of Dave Filoni trying to bring stuff in, so now they're buddies and we get to move. And so they're all speeder bikes. And we have this unnecessary phallic comparison of the speeder bikes, which I don't know who gave that the okay. But also, Cobb's speeder bike is based on Anakin's pod racer.
It is, yes.
Because the pod racing sequence, we got to need a shout out to that because it is so amazing.
Well, but what are they going to do? Create a whole nother thing? It's like
it could have been a speeder bike that looked like Mando's. He didn't need Anakin's pod racer speeder bike.
Yeah, but he had to go to the flying bug guy.
Yeah. We missed the Watto sequence since he's on time.
I got this speeder bike. I give it to you cheap.
Very nice impressions.
That was really good.
You see, it won many races. You take very cheap, just for you.
I love how Watto wasn't racist at all. It's great. What a great character that guy was.
Shout out to 1999.
Yeah.
What a time.
Yep. Oh, George Lucas. Anyways, the speeder bike. I didn't have
speeder bikes, and that's super fun. And so then we get to see more CGI creatures. They're the dogs that are called Massives that live on Geonosis, but for some reason, sand people have them, and they live on Tatooine because, sure.
Yep. Who knows why? It was kind of weird to see them there. Right.
Don't include Attack of the Clones CGI dogs. That's not a necessary. Oh, look! R5 is cool. CGI dogs from Attack of the Clones. That's not cool.
Not so cool. Nobody wants to be reminded of the movie Attack of the Clones. Just saying. In case you're making films in the Star Wars universe.
Yes.
Please don't remind me of that film.
And luckily Mando knows how to speak Tusken Raider, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Convenient.
Well, it was kind of needed at that moment in time.
Ah, yes.
What? With the whole creature call and everything. It was just great. Oh. Actually, you know what was really stupid about the dogs is they had them running around the banthas. So you have this practical effect bantha, and then you have CGI dogs running around them. Who made that decision?
I don't know. There should have been someone on set who's like the VFX person that just sits there and goes, no, this scene has, a CGI character in it. So whatever other character you need, do CGI. Mm-hmm. There should be a point person that does that for every scene, but I guess they don't have that person.
Yeah, and that's something that I didn't even notice. Didn't even notice it.
No, I would assume most people don't.
Stands out.
Yeah.
But for people like Trevor and I and people who like cinema, oh yeah, it's glaring.
That's right.
Alex, I thought you hated bad CGI. We've talked about this.
Yeah, I'm also sitting there feeding my baby while I'm watching this. So my attention is kind of looking down and looking back up from time to time. So I'm not sitting there digesting it fully 100%. I would like to go back and rewatch these episodes though.
Then we actually get to see where the Krayt Dragon lives, and we get the funnest tie-in that we could possibly imagine. That's where the Sarlacc pit is. What eats Sarlaccs? Oh, Krayt Dragon eats Sarlaccs. Who was in Sarlacc pit? Boba Fett was in Sarlacc pit. Oh my God.
all connected.
How convenient.
And it's that stupid line that Qui-Gon says in the stupid Phantom of the Menace. There's always a bigger fish. Like, sort of like Pet. C-3PO talks about how big and awesome it is. Oh, look, we have this other bigger stupid thing that eats this. There's always a bigger fish.
The bigger stupid thing is pretty awesome. I totally
it's a cool
dug
creature, but yeah, I get Trevor's point. It's like the Sarlacc pit was awesome. Why destroy it with?
So we made this super cool thing, but now 30, 40 years later, we have this new thing that eats that super cool thing as the only reason to be a plot device to have a dramatic reveal at the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to get to quite yet, but yes.
Yes. Because then they stake the bantha out, just like the goat from Jurassic Park. But I did like that the dragon ate the sand person guy.
That was funny. I laughed.
That was something that I noticed. They continuously kept walking these banthas up there and then running away. Making the call and then running away. Dude, run away and then turn around really quick and go, and then keep running. Don't just.
They're not very smart.
They're not. No. And then they were like, okay, this time we're going to put 3 of our people down there with one bantha. And it just a little silly to me.
And
that
also,
was another one. Yeah.
As the funny joke goes, it's 2020, old Ben. You can't call them sand people anymore. They're Tusken Raiders.
Right? And they still call them that this episode.
I know, they still call them.
I was like, oh, they're still doing that. Okay.
Sand people.
Okay.
This isn't Lawrence of the Arabia, man.
Right? Woo! Wow, shout out to another Alec Guinness film. Very nice.
Yes.
That was well done. Subtle, but well done. All right, so what's next?
Then we have the good town meeting scene, because it wouldn't be a cool show without having a town meeting to have one person give a speech of rallying everyone together to do this thing they don't want to do.
My favorite is when Cara Dune did it last season. That was great.
Yeah.
Or the fact that it had some undertones in there. Oh, we have to...
Oh, they were super... They wasn't undertones. Those were overtures. Those are big overtones.
Yeah.
You can't be intolerant to the sand people.
Nope.
We don't take kindly to your kind around here. Yeah.
And then we get 2 minutes of arrival of everyone. They literally show desert sequences for 2 minutes of just like drone footage of the banthas walking on dunes. It was great. There's no dialogue. There's no real exposition. It's just like, we're moving from the town to the cave.
I played Candy Crush during those 2 minutes, to be honest. I was like, wow.
You're not playing Funko Pop Blitz?
No.
Oh,
anyway.
Only one playing that?
No, I'm sure there's other people playing it.
And then we get a lot of sun flare on the camera because they like the J.J. Abrams lens flare. So they're like, let's do that, but with the sun. Because we're going to shout out to every previous Star Wars that comes along. Yes. Whether it's bad or good or the
Make
things
sure
you
show
shouldn't highlight.
Both suns in the shot this time. Both of them. Make them flare. Nice. Nicely done.
And so then we lay the whole trap for the big dragon. We put all the bombs there. And then Mandalorian doesn't hold the detonator just so Cobb can be like, should I press the button now? Like, they would save a bunch of dialogue if Mandalorian just held the detonator himself and launched it when he wanted to.
Yeah, let me just do it. Give it to me.
Should I press it now? No, wait. Now? No, wait.
No, wait. Let's just keep having this.
I'm going to press it.
Well, and then whenever he presses it, it misses, and then the thing starts getting mad and starts spewing acid all over.
Funnier is if Baby Yoda came out and pushed the button, like grabbed a hold of it somehow.
Groot.
Like Baby Groot.
Yeah, Baby Yoda just runs away with and takes
that would
off.
be fantastic. Why didn't they do that? Oh, that would have been so much fun.
That would have been good.
Like, where is it? We can't find the detonator.
And he's like waddling away.
Teething on it. Oh, well.
Missed opportunity.
So another thing that kind of in this scene, this is probably what bothered me the most out of this entire show was, okay, so you've got this dragon thing going from mountain to mountain to hills and stuff like that. it slinks into one hill and pops out of another hill. And I mean, screaming, pops out, sands everywhere. And Mando looks over and says, there he is. Well, duh, there he is. There's a giant 80-foot dragon screaming out of it. There he is.
I never noticed that.
He wasn't like one Tusken Raider who's like a sniper up on the hill.
Oh, it was I'm like, because it's not like it was like, boom, there he is. It was like boom, 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 boom. There he is.
Yep.
The dragon did do the good surprise all those times. He's like, surprise, mother trucker, all these different times.
Like, now I'm over here. Now I'm over here. Oh, I'm over here.
And then
The
they
Like-
acid
like
breath
whack-a-mole.
was pretty cool though too.
jetpacks.
Sorry, what was?
I love the acid, like rather than fire, just have the
Yeah.
acid that melts all the Tusken people. That was cool.
That was cool. I like acid.
Yeah, acid's fun because you get to see them dissolving.
Dissolving all those Las Vegas Raiders. Tusken Raiders, not Las Vegas Raiders, Tusken Raiders. Got it. Okay.
Dissolve too. That's fine. That would be fine.
They'll do that on their own.
They will. Sadly.
And then we got a Womp Rat reference about, they must have said Womp Rat at least a dozen times.
Yeah.
Everything was a Womp Rat, no matter what it
Everything
is.
doesn't matter what it is, right? Yeah, you're a Womp Rat. No, you're a Womp Rat. Hey, remember that?
This is
line
like,
of
this is like
line?
shoot Womp Rats. You know those Womp Rats? It's like Luke said that once offhand. Okay,
Right.
we got it.
Like, wink, wink. Get it? Ah. Yeah, we get it.
They were over the top with their connections to previous Star Wars. It's fun to see little Easter eggs. It's not fun when
Everything is.
everything is a big, huge, like gigantic, like dragon egg.
That's kind of this whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. That was my main complaint, was that it didn't feel new enough. It felt like we're just retreading stuff. But
Hey man, The Force Awakens was good.
Yeah.
it was. It was fun.
And so then we get the point where Mando is killed, but he doesn't actually get killed because
Oh no, he totally Men in Blacks that whole thing.
yeah, there's some magic electrical pulse or some weird thing. I mean, it's a super badass sequence when he has the like electrical charges go around him and he flies out with the jetpack and then blasts the thing. That's super awesome, but
That was great.
he's dead.
That's like, but yeah, he would be dead. But that first of all, I thought his suit was made out of Beskar armor. I didn't realize it was made out of plot armor. That's impressive.
Well,
That's some
also,
strong
I mean, he has a cloth cape. That didn't even melt with
No.
the acid that melts entire people and stuff. His cape must have some extra armor on it too.
armor. Yep.
His
Movie
pants look like
magic.
they're cloth pants. They didn't come off.
No, acid doesn't dissolve that. I don't know
Yeah.
if you knew that.
I will say, dude, good on Dave Filoni for doing this and he probably did it because he listens. He's a fan of the show.
Yeah.
When Mando decides to kick Cobb, makes his jetpack go off,
Yeah.
he did not add the Wilhelm
The
scream.
Wilhelm scream. Yeah, he did. That would have been really weird if the elephant yelled.
Oh my god.
And then you've seen the poetry sequence where
Ugh.
it's from Return of the Jedi where Han is blind. He's like Boba Fett and he spins around and he hits his jetpack and Boba Fett goes off into the Sarlacc pit. This was the same exact sequence kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just without the Wilhelm scream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It was pretty much a callback to say, hey, these jetpacks do that.
Everything's a callback.
Dang, everything's a callback or just a quick shot of Baby Yoda to please the fans.
And then the episode ends with Monk Boba Fett for no reason.
staring.
Well, hold on. They also find that like orb thing, the pearl. What is that pearl, and why was that
I don't think it
important?
matters. I think
I thought it was
you
a
know,
crate dragon egg.
That's what I thought too. I think it was just an egg they found. They're excited.
okay.
Yeah, because then they put Baby Yoda on the carcass for no reason. Like he's standing on the head of the carcass just so he could be included in that shot.
Did you get the picture?
That's what it looked like. That
Did you
went
take a
on Baby
picture of
Yoda's Instagram. I'm pretty sure.
Is it? Am I here? Come over here.
Do it for the gram.
So we all kind of knew that this was going to happen. That Boba Fett was coming back. I thought it would have been more cool to just have like the sheriff or the the marshal, sorry, wearing the outfit, and that would have been the only callback.
That's what
But
I thought.
no.
I thought that was going to be it.
No,
But
we had to actually trot Boba Fett out because he's such a cool character that everyone loved. People loved the armor. Don't they realize that's why the toys were bought?
It's the armor. It's not the character. It's the armor. The armor's amazing, and just keep the armor. The marshal should have kept the armor.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. So Boba Fett, that's what makes me think that this episode is going to end up being a lot in Tatooine because we see Boba Fett at the end.
I don't know.
I
think they're going to come back to it, though. I think he's still
just shoot Boba Fett in that damn head and then bury him with the armor. Done.
Man, you guys get so dark in these. Why does everybody have to die? Nobody has to.
Because he already did die.
Nobody
he died like however many years ago. The Sarlacc pit killed him. Okay, the Krayt Dragon didn't. How did he live?
Agree.
So the Sarlacc pit digests him.
I'm even saying in other episodes, the kid from Babadook. Why couldn't the Babadook just murder the child?
Right?
Everybody has to die for you guys.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not everybody has to die.
No, just unnecessarily annoying characters. Boba Fett always has been an annoying character. And we got him dead. Return of the Jedi killed him. It was great. And they trotted him out of being double killed. Like, literally, the Sarlacc pit killed him. And then if a Krayt Dragon ate a Sarlacc pit with somebody in it, he killed him again. And then he's still alive. He's doubly dead.
Doubly dead.
Doubly dead. Or is it a great big plot twist and this is really just one of the clones that's dressing up like him?
Oh, I heard that theory too.
Oh, really?
He's not dressing up like him. He's wearing a damn monk outfit.
That's what I'm
well,
saying.
he probably lives
like,
with the sand
maybe
people.
that's a fake out for the fans, though.
Oh, well, that's true because based on Clone Wars, there's a bunch of old clones that are still living on Tatooine.
So it could
There
be.
you go. So it could
and they think it's Boba Fett, and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
And the Marshal wears the Boba Fett outfit better anyways. Handsome man, I tell you.
It would have been so cool to know that there was a marshal somewhere out there in the middle of the desert wearing Boba Fett's armor. Freaking rad. Oh, well. It's all right. Boy can dream. But yeah, overall, it was a fun episode. But really, it's like I really was hoping that this show in general would have expanded the universe. And all it's been doing is making it feel smaller and smaller every episode. It's worrying.
I completely agree.
So I'm worried.
Everything is connected and related and a callback to something rather than because they can blaze their own course because they're not so reliant on the Force and Jedis and all that. You can dive into all kinds of lore and all kinds of brand new planets, but we're back on Tatooine. We're back with Boba Fett. Everything has to be connected. Oh, look, here's a callback to our CGI droids. Here's a callback to the thing that's in A New Hope that's just a skeleton, and now it actually ate the Sarlacc pit. I definitely agree, Prague. It's a ton of fun. You take those 52 minutes, it's entertaining 52 minutes. If you take it as part of the Star Wars universe, it's not a big deal.
No.
Rebels and Clone Wars, man. They're not live action, but there's storytelling. I felt like this was grand spectacle without plot.
It is. That's what it was.
Monster of the Week, baby.
Best thing ever. This saves Star Wars.
I don't know why we're in the minority. It just always blows my mind.
I know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting too much of Star Wars, even though I watched the sequels and I enjoy them, but you're not expecting enough of Star Wars. Oh, okay, fine. I'll go watch Mandalorian. Oh, this is amazing. Okay, I guess I'm expecting too much. It's weird. I'm just in the wrong place with the Star Wars fandom right now.
Who knows?
Well, that's why we have a podcast, so you can let this out.
They were good notes.
I look forward to this Friday.
Yeah, I don't think I have much else to say about this episode.
I don't either, really. There's not anything else to say.
Awesome. So stay tuned to the Secondary Heroes podcast because we're going to do this for every single episode of Season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Heck yeah, man.
That's right. So make sure that you're following us over on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, all of the majors, because that's where we're going to be posting these episodes and little fun things here and there throughout the week. I don't know. Well, whatever we see, we post on there.
Awesome. So, to everyone listening, we hope you enjoyed. We'll talk to you next time.
Probably out.
Toodaloo!